The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome. This is TV1 News. I'm Carol Kidu Jr. In this edition, 2025 National Budget presented, Counterterrorism Bill passed in an overwhelming majority, and Prime Minister welcomes PNG mosquitoes. The 2025 budget was today presented by Treasury Minister Ian Ling-Stuckey to Parliament. A 28 billion kina budget, 980 million kina larger than the 2024 budget of 27 billion kina.
Papua New Guinea's increasing population, development of villages, districts and provinces, expanding cities and growing businesses and industries demand a big budget. With these growing pressures in mind, the national government has allocated a budget of over 28 million kina to address the need for food, water, jobs, energy, land and security.
28,357 million budget, 980 million kina, larger than the 2024 budget of 27,377 million kina. Revenues will total 25,408 million kina, 2,014 million more than the 2024 budget of 23,394 million kina. And because revenues are growing much faster than expenditures, keeping on the path to a surplus by 2027, and the option for the next Parliament to start repaying all of our debts by 2034.
Themed Securing PNG in 2025 and beyond, the budget emphasizes focus on creating 1 million additional jobs by 2027, together with an aim of securing a 200 billion kina economy by 2030. Furthermore, the government will continue its household assistance package with an extra 685 million kina in 2025. It was also announced in the press lockup by Minister Ling-Stuckey that families will not pay goods and services tax on 13 essential goods from July 1st, 2025.
Food prices are 50% higher than they were 10 years ago. Today, let me announce that the 2025 budget builds on the historic household assistance support packages of 1,637 million kina over the last 3 years. The IRC says their new GST monitoring systems will allow for no GST to be charged when buying essential goods from a target date of 1st of July 2025.
The Treasurer says this budget is a turning point with a real focus on building security necessary for creating the future for the children of Papua New Guinea that they deserve. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape commended members of Parliament from both sides of the House for voting unanimously in support of the Counterterrorism Bill 2024 as it made its passage through Parliament yesterday. The bill was passed 84-0, surpassing the required 60 absolute majority votes needed for its passing into law. However, the Prime Minister also announced the establishment of a bipartisan committee early next year to look into any areas of the law that may need to be amended.
Despite passing the new law with an overwhelming 84-0 votes, the Prime Minister in a statement said a bipartisan meeting will be conducted early next year, to be added by the Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso, where members of the community can suggest amendments to the new law. The Prime Minister's announcement of this bipartisan meeting is following recommendations by the member for Sinasina Yongomo, Kerengakua.
I want to ask the Honourable Minister to look at Section 10, where he says that the police are entitled to use such force as is reasonable. He should include another subsection 3 to say that the question of whether reasonable force has been used should be non-justiciable.
Marape acknowledged the argument and called on all members of Parliament and members of the community to study the new law and make recommendations for changes in the areas they feel could be strengthened. Prime Minister Marape called this new law a milestone law that will help arrest law and order challenges being experienced across the country. He said the counterterrorism law covers many facets of terrorism, including modern-day crimes such as money laundering and ICT-oriented crimes, as well as the traditional ones of tribal fights and their modern gun-dominated versions taking place in the highlands of Papua New Guinea. The law was drafted in response to the need to empower police to make them feel protected and empowered while they're in the thick of trouble enforcing the law.
The bill provides necessary legal protection to members of police force, the Counterterrorism Joint Security Task Force, and authorize officers for any actions or omissions made in the performance of their duties under the Act. This protection is crucial in ensuring that officers can carry out their duties without fear, particularly in high-risk, fast-moving situations where decisions must be made quickly to prevent terrorism threats and protect the public safety.
The PM said this law is not intended to hold innocent people to ransom. It is meant to change the status quo of police reacting to crimes to police preventing crimes from happening. He added that there is enough data and intelligence on hotspots in the country, including on white-collar crimes. This law enables the police to make sure people responsible for committing these crimes and people responsible for sponsoring crimes pay their dues. The Prime Minister also clarified that the counterterrorism law does not give the Police Commissioner autonomy, but must be read in relation to other laws and the Criminal Code as it is anchored into the Constitution. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
Landowners of Kodu in the Koyari Rural LLG have been urged to reopen the Kokoda track following its closure in September this year by disgruntled landowners over failure by successive governments to honor a commitment of 40 million kina promised to them back in 2011. Prime Minister James Marape assured the landowners that his government is working to process their claims through the system and should pay them when funds are ready. The Prime Minister was responding to questions by the Governor of Northern Province, Gary Juffa.
The landowners of Kodu were promised 50 million kina as socio-economic development package in exchange for the lost benefits that would have been derived from a proposed Kodu mine. While 10 million kina was paid in 2013 and 2014, 40 million kina remains outstanding with the MOA expiring in 2017 and no review conducted. Attempts to hold talks with relevant government authorities in September failed, leading the landowners to close the track indefinitely. While the track remains closed, Northern Governor Gary Juffa highlighted the impact of this closure and sought answers from the Prime Minister.
What will the government do about this so that they can attend to the concerns of the landowners and meet this promise or this undertaking It may have been by a former government or previous government, but it was still an undertaking, and the landowners await till now patiently.
Prime Minister James Marape acknowledged receiving the petition on September 19th. Having walked part of the track himself and seen firsthand the spin-off benefits from the track, Marape first highlighted the opportunities landowners were missing out on following the closure.
Government is not going to run away or go away. It's an obligation that was made in 2011, and we intend to honor this obligation. If you are listening to this question, needless to name names because you're not here, all of you know who you are. You know me, I know all of you too. I ask you, open the track. Government will find some money to honor you in the commitments that has been outstanding since then. Thank you very much.
He then assured the landowners of Kodu that they are working to find some money to pay the outstanding balance of 40 million kina as promised back in 2011.
Carrier is paid about anywhere between 200 to 300 up to 500 for a bag carry. The villages along the way will participate in selling of artifacts, food, as well as the care and hospitality along the track, also as some earnings.
He told the landowners that the ongoing closure of the track will not benefit anyone, instead do more harm to all parties. Meantime, back in September, Kodu landowners took a tough stance on this matter, reiterating that they will only open the track when they receive the 40 million kina on hand. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Survivors of sexual violence, especially women and girls, have been urged to follow the proper process in order to see their cases prosecuted successfully. Sexual Offence Squad Detective Chief Sergeant Rachel Pinder said victims should first visit the clinic, obtain a medical report, and then report the matter to police.
This is the normal process of reporting a crime related to sexual abuse, says Sexual Offence Squad Detective Chief Superintendent Rachel Pinder. Detective Pinder said when survivors of sexual abuse do not follow the right process, leading to many of their cases being struck out from the courts because the police have no medical evidence to submit to the courts.
The matter sometimes at the police stations, they don't or not told the right process, or sometimes they are confused. Like for sexual offense, when cases like that are reported, if the victim is traumatized and is injured, the first and the right thing to do is housing. We can report the matter later. First and most important is simple housing. Once she sustained injuries, now medically checked and everything.
She said due to the matter's sensitivity, police personnel, especially the Sexual Offence Squad, often advise the survivors to issue their addresses for the team to visit them. And that way, they will feel more comfortable to talk.
Normally advise them when they are traumatized and they're in this one, the fear is still there, so don't exit our office. Let them go rest and call us over. We can come to the house and interview them at the house where they are more comfortable. When they're okay to come, they can come.
She said sexual abuse or any other sexual offense matter requires care and a lot of attention. Therefore, educating survivors to understand and follow the right process for them to lay their complaint is important.
Investigations, they're different approach. For us, as long as we treat our victims with respect and how do I say, you approach them in the way they're supposed to approach, because when they touch our private space and go beyond, it psychologically affects that particular female or male. So for us to talk to them when there are other complainants around, it's like, and when they say they're SOS victims, you must always take them aside and take their story quietly. You don't, and be aggressive because you're adding more.
Meanwhile, Pinder said they deal with about 60 to 80 cases of sexual offences and harassment annually. These cases are mostly women and girls under the age of 16. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
You're watching TV1 News. We'll have more stories after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase EasyPay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Open lens.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG e Mia. Pine PNG made.
Right across the nation, we eat snack crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Welcome back. The education sector has been allocated 446.2 million kina for the year 2025. The budget is geared towards helping the government achieve its aim of building a 200 billion kina economy by 2030.
The education sector's challenges are demonstrated through, firstly, Papua New Guinea's ranking among the bottom 10 countries in the world on education spending, a lack of delivery of minimum service requirements at the national, provincial and district levels, limited spaces in universities and colleges, insufficient support to implement national standards and national qualifications framework, and limited numbers of TVET institutions, limiting opportunities to develop trade skills for mining, agriculture and services. Strategic actions have been placed in the budget to strive for an educated, skilled and productive human capital and include support for quality teacher training and development, expanding education infrastructure, development in primary, secondary and tertiary education, increasing countrywide accessibility to FODE and TVET pathways, supporting schools of excellence and STEM, providing tertiary education scholarships, and developing and instituting quality assurance and accreditation systems. In order to hit these targets, the 2025 key allocations for the education sector show that 95 million kina is allocated for alternative pathways of FODE, establishment of early childhood education, ICT development and capacity, and promoting schools of excellence, while 384 million kina for investments in universities and colleges across the country, and 123 million kina for district TVET, polytechnical institutions, provincial technical colleges, PNG TVET skills for sub-national growth, and APTC. These are the government's plans for the education sector in 2025. Maricela Kelleton, TV1 News.
Tonight, we bring you an inspiring story from Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, where a remarkable 8-year-old boy has captured the hearts of many with his creativity and determination. Benjamin Sirmai, a grade 2 student at Koroboro International School, recently launched his debut book, The Adventures of Bata Chief and Duli. With the unwavering support of his family, Benjamin's journey from a young dreamer to a published author showcases the incredible potential that lies within children. Join us as we dive into his incredible story of perseverance and the impact his work is already making on communities worldwide. The room was filled with excitement and pride as Benjamin Sirmai officially launched his debut book, The Adventures of Bata Chief and Duli. The event showcased his remarkable talent, determination, and the unwavering support of his family. The young author captivated the audience with his speech, highlighting the essence of his story.
The Adventures of Bata Chief and Duli is an entertaining book that follows the thrilling adventures of a little boy named Bata Chief and his dog Duli. The pages of this book is filled with exciting stories of bravery, friendship, and kindness.
Benjamin's mother, Natasha Sirmai, shared the journey that led to this milestone, attributing his success to God.
It's been a very challenging journey for us to get to where we are tonight. But with God, all things were possible, and they made it possible. And first and foremost, we'd like to thank God for the blessing of Benjamin and his gift of writing.
Benjamin set himself 4 goals for the year. Natasha proudly reflected on his determination and achievements.
Some 4 goals this year. One was to excel academically at school. The second one was to learn to swim. His swimming teacher is not here, but he's done so well. Mrs. Victor has been there watching the swimming lessons. The third was for him to travel to Brisbane. And the last goal was for him to write a book. And as I stand here, this date, 28 November, he's achieved all of them this year. He's self-driven, he's got the determination to put the energy and creativity to what he sets as his goals.
The book will be showcased at the prestigious book fairs worldwide, including events in London, Beijing, and Frankfurt, and Benjamin has been invited to the Los Angeles Times Festival of Books in 2025. At just 8 years old, Benjamin Sirmai's story is a testament to the power of family support, faith, and a young man's creative spark. His success is sure to inspire many children and parents alike. A new initiative by the U.S. Embassy called the Waiting Hut, Inc. was officially launched today, aiming to transform maternal and newborn health care in rural Papua New Guinea. The initiative, founded by Dr. Frida Wemin and Pamela Krisimpa, provides waiting huts, solar lighting, and essential medical supplies to improve safety and access for mothers. Since 2023, partnerships with groups like MAF Technologies, PNG, and New Guinea Highlands Coffee Exports Limited have supported its efforts, including lighting 23 rural health sites and empowering women through health programs. The organization plans to reduce maternal and perinatal mortality by 20% within 3 years and is calling for support to expand its impact. The inaugural Highlands Regional Youth Games kicked off in Goroka with a strong message of inclusivity, as current Miss Bird of Paradise Tyler Singarok took the stage to advocate for people with disabilities. During the official opening of the inaugural Highlands Regional Youth Games in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province, current Miss Bird of Paradise Tyler Singarok championed the cause of inclusivity for people with disabilities. She also presented a 10,000 kina check to Justin Wagame, the principal of the Inclusive Center, formerly known as Mount Zion, which provides care for people with disabilities from across Papua New Guinea. The check presentation took place in the presence of prominent figures, including Minister for Community Development, Youth and Religion Jason Peter, Minister for Environment, Conservation and Climate Change Simon Kilepa, National Youth Development Authority CEO Joey Taki, Chief Censor Jim Abani, NSI Director Janet Gimmots, and other technical officials. This gesture underscores MBOP's commitment to championing disability inclusion and empowerment in PNG. Carol Kidu Jr., TV1 News. And now we take a look at the finance news. The kina closed lower at 0.2517 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2442 US dollars, 0.3730 Australian dollars, 0.2240 euro, and 36.39 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, palm oil, crude oil, and copper closed higher. Copper closed lower, while coffee and cocoa closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed unchanged, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. This is TV1 News. We'll have news overseas when we return. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up and big smile on face. Time for kimchi and a great kumutu. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, let's calories, family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's our favorite from us. Tennessee Cola, scale rice on scale price. Tennessee Cola, scale rice on scale price. Amber, you like it?
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 26 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The future of Darwin Port's controversial 99-year lease with Chinese-owned firm Landbridge is under renewed scrutiny after an audit revealed significant financial concerns about the company. Landbridge pledges it won't default on the terms of the lease, but the issue is raising serious concerns within the Northern Territory government.
Storm clouds hover over the Darwin Port's finances, with the NT government trying to find out what's going on.
Our focus is to ensure that operations of the port continue despite what's happening right now.
Chinese-owned Landbridge Group leased the Darwin Port for 99 years from the NT government in 2015. Now, an independent audit has questioned Landbridge's ability to meet the terms of that lease. With the company facing tens of millions in net debt, the audit found there is a material uncertainty that may cast significant doubt on the Landbridge Group's ability to continue as a going concern.
As soon as we saw the findings, we engaged the Northern Territory Government to highlight to them that this was the findings that had come down, and to reassure the Northern Territory Government that we were confident that Darwin port operations would not be affected.
The lease of the strategic northern asset to a potential geopolitical adversary was controversial from the get-go, even attracting the attention of then US President Barack Obama.
The Port of Darwin is strategically important to the Defence Force posture of Australia.
Some believe Landbridge's financial woes could be a reason for the government to take it off them.
This is an opportunity for government to reassess, re-establish and perhaps get the lease back into Australian-controlled hands.
NT Treasurer Bill Yan met with the Federal Infrastructure Minister today in Canberra to discuss the issue, but is waiting for more information from Landbridge before deciding if the lease could be terminated. Landbridge is pledging it'll meet its financial obligations and the port will stay under its control.
There's nothing that would change our current position that it's a 99-year lease and we've got 89 years to go.
The Albanese government has criticised the port's lease and reviewed it last year, but couldn't produce any evidence to prove the current operators posed an unmanageable risk.
Australians will spend billions of dollars in the next 4 days in the Black Friday to Cyber Monday sales. But we are all being warned to live within our means and also to watch out for online scams.
The orders are coming thick and fast for this activewear company, which started its Black Friday sales a week ago.
Night one is, in the first hour, is always quite crazy. There's a lot of community online and we did break our app. It couldn't handle the traffic, which was quite fun, and we let our community down a little bit in that way.
4 in 10 Australians are expected to do all their Christmas shopping in this event.
It's good, I like it. I love a bargain.
Saving some money, why not? And also it helps to have your presents purchased earlier, not last-minute shopping.
Australians are forecast to spend $6.7 billion in the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales. That's the biggest on record and a 5.5% increase compared to this time a year ago. All up, including this event, shoppers are expected to fork out nearly $12 billion on presents in the lead up to Christmas.
Many of the discretionary retailers make about 2/3 of their profits during the peak season trading period, so there's a lot riding on it.
So live within your means. It's going to be a debt that you need to think about paying.
There's also a warning about falling victim to online scams.
If you see an offer that you think that offer is just too good to be true, it probably is.
Black Friday to Cyber Monday is the first major sales period since the Stage 3 tax cuts came into effect. Economists will be watching closely to see how that impacts inflation and the timing of interest rate cuts by the Reserve Bank.
Black Friday sales have crept into more and more of the month, that's going to show that prices fell for a little longer. But just because prices fall for a one-off sales event doesn't mean that inflation is falling enough.
Meaning the delivery of the first interest rate cut likely won't land until next year.
Laws have passed a federal parliament that will ban some social media platforms for people aged under 16. The move has attracted attention across the world. The legislation passed in a hectic final 24 hours of the parliamentary sitting year in which more than 30 bills were approved.
Rushed through too quickly. The coalition and the government combined to get this bill passed, and it was ticked off by the House of Reps this morning. Now, it will essentially ban people under the age of 16 from using social media platforms like TikTok, Snapchat and Instagram. The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was out this morning spruiking the bill, and he says it has a message for parents but also for social media companies.
Platforms now have a social responsibility to ensure the safety of our kids is a priority for them. We're making sure that mums and dads can have that different conversation today and in future days. We've got your back is our message to Australian parents.
Now, Lorna, this doesn't take effect today. It'll in fact take effect in a year's time so that social media companies will have time to adjust to it. Now, how it works, the onus won't be on kids to stay off or parents to make their kids stay off. It'll be on the social media companies that they must take reasonable steps to show that they are trying to comply and keep kids off these platforms. How that will happen is that the E-Safety Commissioner will be monitoring them, and the social media companies can face fines of up to $50 million if they are found to not comply. Now, there's still some questions about this, particularly the method of which proof of age will be found. The government says it's carrying out an age assurance trial and it will be guided by that, but we still don't really know the tech of how that proof of age will come in. So questions are still there. Now, we also have seen today from the opposition, they have been out talking as well, and we know they combined with the government to get the bill through Parliament, and they've also had quite a unified front in how they are talking about this today. We saw the Prime Minister say, look, this bill and the implementation of it may not be perfect, but it's the right thing to do. And there was similar sentiment from David Coleman, who is the Shadow Communications Minister.
No law will be perfect, and nobody's saying that this will solve all harms online or that in every situation we're going to be able to fix all the bad things that kids see online. But what we can say with confidence is this will make a significant difference. This is going to mean significantly less kids in that social media environment, and that's got to be a very positive thing.
South Australia is on the brink of having a record 5,000 children in state care, with a disproportionate number being of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander descent. But a new program aimed at helping families address child protection concerns is proving successful, prompting the state government to propose changes to the law.
Crystal is a proud mum, but she's still coming to terms with having several children taken into state care.
It's like your heart has been ripped out of your body. There's no other way to put it. Someone's just ripped your heart out with their hands. That's exactly how it feels.
The ABC has changed Crystal's name due to laws protecting the identity of children in care. The First Nations woman has experienced domestic violence, homelessness and mental ill health. And when she fell pregnant again earlier this year, she feared her baby would be removed.
I was so scared, like knowing that stuff, I was petrified to go through this journey again.
But this time, Crystal's baby stayed in her care. The mum was referred to family group conferencing, a program that sits families down to discuss how they can address child protection concerns.
It brings us back to self-determination around how as a family do we keep children safe within the family network.
Sarah DeCrea has spent years helping mums such as Crystal.
For too long, when life becomes hard for people, the system starts to police. And in family group conferencing, it's about actually working together in solutions to try to, for the best interests of children.
A recent study by the Australian Centre for Child Protection found that children of families who participate in group conferences are significantly less likely to be maltreated or taken into care. Similar programs are run in other states, including New South Wales and Victoria.
Just over 90% of family group conferences are really successful.
Under proposed laws before SA Parliament, the Child Protection Department would be required to offer Aboriginal families a group conference if it has concerns about their child's welfare. But advocates say that doesn't go far enough. They've written to MPs calling on them to further scrutinise the bill. On Thursday, Parliament's upper house referred the legislation to a select committee.
It should be a mandatory referral. The department is not equipped to do the offering.
We are making sure that through legislation there is that requirement. It's a really important requirement.
Crystal says all at-risk mothers should have the option of family group conferencing. She's now in the process of being reunified with her older children and looks forward to a brighter future.
Just because you've had kids taken before, like, it doesn't mean that all of them are going to be taken, and it can mean that you can get your other kids back too. Like, it can be a bridge to reunification of your family.
And that ends the news segment. Later in sports, POMRFL drama continues and AFL facility needs upgrade.
Rugby league is a powerful force that unites Papua New Guinea and develops our youth. Through partnerships with the PNG LNG Kumals, Grassroots Rugby League and Justin Olam, we aim to instill skills to last a lifetime.
I'm community blue. When it's a new welcome, I'm a community. You must also community.
When we invest in people, we invest in tomorrow's possibilities.
Kumul Petroleum is a major regional petroleum industry player involved in large-scale upstream, midstream and downstream petroleum and energy developments in the country. We are committed to ensuring that Papua New Guineans maximize benefits from the petroleum and energy sector.
What would you say to 6 months free bonus credit? Wowee! That's right. Get the Wowee 4G LTE smartphone from Digicel and you'll enjoy 35 Kina bonus credit every month for 6 months, plus a whopping 50 gigs of data and 60 minutes free talk for 7 days. Hurry! Get your Wowee 4G LTE smartphone for only 199 Kina at a Digicel store or agent today and say Wowee to a total of 210 Kina free credit. Only with Digicel.
Welcome back. Drama continues with the leadership of the Port Moresby Rugby Football League. Interim Board Chairman Dr. James Naipawa maintains he is still the legitimate interim chairman. He plans to hold an annual general meeting on 30th November to elect new board members.
Port Moresby Rugby League held its annual general meeting on November 24th. 7 of 12 club presidents there and then appointed new executives. But interim chairman Dr. James Naipawa is not having it. He says this is illegitimate and does not conform to POMRFL constitution. Dr. Naipawa said the POMRFL constitution states that chairman of the league should be chairing the AGM, and AGM election notice should be served to clubs 14 days prior to the AGM election date.
Whatever things that transpired by the faction on the 24th and on the 25th, where there were 2 media conference, and the meeting that is there is still illegitimate. We will conduct the election on the 30th of November 2024, and gradually, if a new one is elected, no missionary work is done.
However, the clubs maintain that they did follow POMRFL laws. Majority of the 12-member clubs voted new executives: Gulf West, Cornerstones, Hanuabada Hawks, Double Warriors, Butterflies and Paga Panthers. President of Double Warriors, Robert Dog Akunai, says they followed POMRFL constitution to vote new executives.
Section 15A(I) of the PRL constitution states that the AGM must not be held no later than the 3rd week of November every year. So the interim board scheduled the AGM for next Sunday, which is against the spirit of Section 15AI of the POMRFL Constitution. Next Sunday, November 38th, is the 4th week of November. So it's against the spirit of the Constitution, the POMRFL Constitution. We are strictly abiding by the POMRFL Constitution, which we held our AGM 2 hours ago.
Clubs President Fu Magani, Tarangau, Hohola Flies, Kone Tigers, Royals and Defence did not vote. Following the elections, Honkiapi's chairman, Ronnie Titi Jr., Senior Vice President, Butler Otio, Junior Vice President, Patricia Urum Treasurer and Udu Vai as Secretary. Dr. Naipao and his group of executives plan to hold an AGM on November 30th to elect a new board. Rex Lita, TV1 Sports.
Lack of direct government support and recognition in terms of funding and proper infrastructure has again come to light following last week's Mosquitoes' uncompromising victory to reaffirm their top ranking and dominance in the Pacific.
With the Kalanzori state the famous Colsovel is in right now, it is hoped that after the Mosquitoes' resounding Pacific Cup victory, there would be some level of recognition and pride from the government through the PNG Sports Foundation to seriously look at upgrading the Bicini facility. The facility needs a proper grandstand and fencing that can allow for national and international games to be played there. It was highlighted by AFL Senior Manager Community Football Rex Leka.
We've proved to the country that yes, AFL has, gone down there, travel, bring back the cup, everything. But we cannot do much. So we're just waiting for what happens after this, and hopefully and gratefully that I hope that the government and everyone comes back and says yes, okay, AFL is your package, then we can get our grounds ready and everything ready for us to play. Yep.
While the government talks about supporting sports in the country, there is no real proclamation or commitment as to how soon and when help would come to AFL PNG. Leka said he is hoping that AFL PNG and AFL Australia can continue to work together in sourcing financial support as well.
We hope that AFL Australia, even the PNG government, will say, look at these boys and girls. They've trained on this turf. They've gone and they have produced the gap. So it's a big ask but for me that I'd like the government to help us to get it fixed up so we can have everyone ready to train and play.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And finally, AFL Pacific Cup champions PNG Mosquitoes have been highly commended for their recent sporting triumph over other Pacific rivals, creating yet another milestone for the country. A special welcome cocktail reception for the PNG senior men and senior women's teams was hosted at the Hilton Hotel last night, attended by Prime Minister James Marape and his National Sports Minister Kinoko Hotune-Feo.
The PNG Mosquitoes and PNG Flames were officially welcomed last night after their successful campaign at the inaugural 2024 AFL Pacific Cup Challenge on the Sunshine Coast of Queensland, Australia last weekend. Mosquitoes again show they are still the team to beat in the Pacific region, going through the tournament undefeated and eventually taking out the cup over fast improving and worthy grand finalist Nauru. It was a tough gig for the women's team though. PNG Flames had to settle for third place. Some of the outstanding performers throughout the one-week tournament were recognized with special awards at the end of the tournament. Men's Pacific Cup Best and Fairest Player, Rex Peragua. Men's Grand Final Best on the Ground, Rex Peragua. Men's Competition Leading Goal Kicker, David Sevara. Men's Moses Coaches Award, Jeremiah Ban. And Women's Flames Coaches Award, Lillian Barnabas. Last night's event couldn't be more fitting and significant without the presence of Prime Minister, accompanied by his Sports Minister, who commended the team for making the country proud.
To the mosquitoes, you've been faring very well. Don't think some of us don't follow your progress. You've done very well for quite a long time, almost 20 years or so. We want to congratulate the mosquitoes for maintaining your good standard, and to our young children and girls, the Flames. And I also know the other 70 say congratulations. Keep on working hard. Sports is an outlet. The reason why we backed sports with the higher education minister is also as a career option for those who choose to participate in sport. So some of you, and Aussie rule is not played in many parts of the world. It's PNG, Australia, and few concentration, and you are the best international.
Minister for Sports Kinoka Hatune Fio, while congratulating the team, also reminded the players and coaching staff of their roles and responsibilities as sporting ambassadors for the country. He said it was fitting for him to be there in person and to give prominence and appreciation to the teams for what they have done in winning the inaugural Pacific Cup.
Prime Minister, it's just fitting that we are here in person to give prominence and appreciate what the AFL team, the girls team and the boys team have done to have won the inaugural Pacific Cup. Not many sporting codes have we won to lift the profile of our country. And, so for young people can win the inaugural Pacific Cup, you know, you've done us proud. So on behalf of the Prime Minister and myself, we want to sincerely thank you on behalf of our government and the people of our country. You've raised the flag of Papua New Guinea far and up and have made us proud, so thank you very much.
The minister again emphasized the importance of discipline as a vital component of character in sports and essential for success in life.
Sports, for me, the way I see it, sports really helps to shape our young people to become better citizens of our country. In sports, to be a champion, you have to commit to a lifestyle that makes you become healthy, fit, strong, and also on a daily basis, commit to a certain routine program. And so the more you're focused on your goal of winning a championship, every day you work hard, you exercise, eat the right kind of food, sleep well. You know, all these things that you do help and shape to make you become a better person, a better citizen.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the sports segment. Now for the weather forecast for the main centers for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby, partly cloudy, mostly fine with chances of brief showers and thunderstorms. Daru, cloudy periods with brief showers and possible thunderstorm. Alotau, partly cloudy with possible brief showers. Momase, Ley, mostly fine with chances of showers or two. Wewak and Vanimo, partly cloudy with possible few showers. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, partly cloudy with possible few showers. Kokopo and Rabaul, partly cloudy with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Highlands, Mount Hagen, partly cloudy with few showers. Goroka Bands, Kundiawa, Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, cloudy periods with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Ocean forecast for PNG areas for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea, seas moderate to rough with easterly to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, increasing to 25 to 33 knots at times. Solomon Sea, seas smooth to slight with southeast to easterly winds of 5 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea, seas smooth to slight with east to southeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean, seas slight with east to northeast winds of 10 to 15 knots. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of southern PNG and Indonesian border to Daru, Kiwai Islands, Kerema Yule Island, Hood Point to Samari Islands, and waters of Finchafen through Vitius Strait to Siasi and Long Island, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Medang to Wewak, Vanimo and northern PNG and Indonesian border, Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And that ends another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.